scrumptious. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Crunchyroll pissing all over the grave of something that could have been wonderful. It's the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. Welcome. I am looking fresh today for the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. This is my favorite shirt. I only wear it for special, important occasions. Have you ever wanted to fuck a cat? So before I get to my actual picks for the Anime Awards, I have a couple of things I want to talk about before I get into it all. Number one, I won't be talking about the Best Film Award, and I won't be talking about the Best English Voice Acting Award. One, because I don't watch dubs, and two, I've seen approximately 0 anime films this year. Number two, I might not be doing a reaction this year because Crunchyroll decided they wanted to put the award ceremony on a Monday. And I just so happen to not be in this room on Mondays anymore. I was kind of pissed off last video because I couldn't do it last year, if you didn't notice during my tone during that video. Speaking of last year's Crunchyroll video, I want to talk about what I brung up in that video, which is the idea of adding more nominees. I had a few people telling me how adding more nominees won't really matter because it doesn't really legitimize the anime awards at all. Because there aren't people in the actual industry that are involved in the voting process, and therefore it isn't a legit award system because the people who are actually making the shows and the people who know the most aren't voting for the best and of the best. I don't really care about all that. Most of these award shows aren't really legit to me, and especially the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. So I never really made the argument as to make it more legit. I just want the Anime Awards to be more fun, and to me, adding more nominees to each show would not only give recognition to more anime, it will also make the show more fun to vote on and watch, and just as a whole, it'll just be more entertaining. Finally, I will be voting for what I want to win each award, but I will also be making a prediction as to what I think will win the award. I will vote for what I want to win, but also what I think is the most realistic option to win. Oh, and one more thing, either to the left or to the right of me, there's going to be like a snub list of anime that I feel Crunchyroll missed for that specific award for each anime that I'm talking about. Just to make this a little more fun for me again. Alright, with all that out the way, let's begin. Oh my god, Tommy, you fell over. God damn it. You guys wanna know something? This setup right here, it's never gonna happen again for this reason. This is a pain. Alright, so before I talk about my actual vote for the Anime of the Year award, I feel it's important to address the massive-ass elephant in the room, which is the fact that there are no winter anime in this award show. At all. Crunchyroll just straight up restricted the whole winter season for votes. They just completely cut off an entire quarter of the year. They said their reasoning was recency bias, even though they didn't have much of a problem with that last year when they threw Osama ranking on everything. And that anime wasn't even finished by that point, so you would think that would have more of a recency bias than, say, Bocchi the Rock would. But I will say that my anime of the year this year it won by a lot for me, and that was Bocchi the Rock. Bocchi the Rock is one of the most creative adaptations I've seen yet in anime. It's innovative, it's new, it's something I've never really seen before. I feel like the closest comparison I could give to it is something like Pop Team Epic. But Pop Team Epic doesn't have the kind of depth that Bocchi the Rock has. Pop Team Epic doesn't have to tell a story or build characters, it just gets away with being wild. Bocchi the Rock has just as wild animation as Pop Team Epic does, but it's also able to tell the story, it's also able to build its characters, and it's also able to add in so many little details that I even didn't get on my first viewing. Words can barely even describe Bocchi the Rock. I put a whole 20-minute video out on it. I still didn't get to everything that this show features. I still didn't talk about the depth of every character. I still didn't get to talk about all the little things in the music that people in the comments noticed. Like, it's such a depth-heavy show. There's so much in it that is just so simple. It's so much more than just a girl joining a band anime. My second favorite anime of the year, which Crunchyroll just completely missed on, is Made in Abyss, which shocked me. It shocked me Crunchyroll just missed Made in Abyss for Anime of the Year, considering it already won Anime of the Year previously. Yeah, Made in Abyss, if you've ever seen any anime YouTuber, you've probably heard enough positive adjectives towards it. It's such a great world to explore and find out more of. The art in this series is absolutely gorgeous, which completely contrasts with the absolute brutality of its rules and its systems. It also contrasts in the cute nature of the plot, which is two children just going out on an adventure. The goal is placed beautifully in the series, so it never feels like too much goal, and it never feels like it's too much edge. It always just feels just right, just the right amount of brutality to get you emotionally invested. The villains are absolutely hateable. I'm honestly shocked it didn't win Anime of the Year. I'm absolutely shocked it didn't make it. Those were my two Anime of the Years. Honestly, my fourth pick, like, Kaguya-sama didn't make it, Call of the Night didn't make it, Dress Up Darling didn't make it. Like, we're on to, like, my fifth or sixth selection here, and I guess I'm gonna go with Spy X Family. Spy X Family is the most fun I've had both watching and reviewing an anime this year. And even though I haven't yet seen part 2 because I want to prepare other videos before I get to Spy X Family, it does have a bit more story than you would assume. It can be off the wall funny, but it can also be kind of subtly funny. Anya just being a child was just hilarious to me. Out of all these anime that are listed here, that would be my choice personally. What's going to win? Let's be real. It's going to be Attack on Titan again. So I'm gonna go with Spy X Family. The most probable winner, Attack on Titan. Ah, Crunchyroll. Okay, I like this award. Giving some props to the OGs, huh? I like that. Because there aren't a lot of original anime that air every year, I don't have a lot of snubs, really, because this is about the only ones that really aired. I would probably argue Engage Kiss is better than Yoi Deko, but that's not a massive miss. Bocchi was a show that actually surprised me in a fair bit of ways. It actually has a better story than I thought it would. Lycoris. If you haven't seen my UN video, it has an entertaining main duo that contrast each other, but they're also kind of similar in that they both kind of want the same thing. I get a lot of people had this expectation that it was going to be a dark tragedy similar to something like Madoka. Even the directors said that that wasn't going to be the case. I think it balances its serious and non-serious scenes really well. There is tension being built up to the final fight scene, such as when Majima is picking up the fake rubber bullets and then he realizes that, oh, Shitato doesn't kill people. I can use that to my advantage. Just constantly is building up tension to the final fight scene while also keeping the balance of being a cute, funny show. It develops an emotional connection with each cast member. You feel kind of sympathetic for Shitato. You especially feel sympathetic for, I'm blanking on his name. Damn. Shisato's dad, basically. It does have some really incredible and smart action scenes, but I will talk about that more when I get to Best Action. Lycoris Recoil is my pick for Best OG Anime of the Year. What should win? Probably Lycoris. I'm gonna keep bringing up Bocchi because it's a damn shame that it didn't make it on here. This is another one Bocchi would have won for me if it was allowed to be on here. It's a close call between Call of the Night and Dress Up Darling. Dress Up Darling was a surprisingly well-developed romantic comedy, but Call of the Night has more from a story perspective and has a good romance story as well. It builds up the vampires really well, showing that they can be monsters but also feel human emotion. It makes them more sympathetic, but you also can understand a character like Anko's hateful nature towards them. But you also understand that Anko's opinion is wrong because we literally saw the vampires not being monstrous and being more human. The show is very colorful from an art perspective, very interesting color choices and changes for that matter. It's surprisingly good animation. Not only that, but I also gave it to Call of the Night because it just has more potential to go more as a story, especially as the vampire elements keep adding in. What wins? Probably Spy X Family. Well, I guess if you're gonna have a best new series, you're also gonna have a best continuing series as well. Though this just seems like a way to give One Piece an award. I haven't had a chance to talk about this, I get to talk about it now, and this is going to be the only time, hopefully, that I talk about it. One Piece bores me. One Piece is boring. I'm sorry. I started watching One Piece when I was 10 goddamn years old. And at about episode 700, I got tired of it. I was done. I'm sorry. You know, if you would have told me a couple years ago that I'd be looking at the best continuing series list and I would see JoJo's on there and I'd be like, eh? I would have called you a madman. Netflix has to get an award, cause taking the hype out of JoJo's is some kind of an accomplishment. Part 6 comes out, people talked about it for like a week, nobody talks about JoJo's Part 6 anymore. And it's sad too, because JoJo's Part 6 is really good. I mentioned this earlier, but Attack on Titan hasn't had a conclusion yet. Once it gets a conclusion, I hope at some point it gets a conclusion. But until it does, if it does, I'm not going to be voting for Attack on Titan, because I need to see how it ends. And listen, Main Abyss hasn't ended its story yet either. But it ended its arc. That's what I mean. Until I see the end of the Rumbling, I'm not voting for Attack on Titan, okay? Unless it's for, like, art or something. I'm not doing it. So, my pick, if it wasn't obvious already, it's Main Abyss. What wins? Bocchi not being here is absolutely ridiculous, man. Listen, I get it, okay? Recency bias, all that jazz. Even though it's stupid, I completely understand it. But it is like an undeniable fact. And I don't care what y'all say. It's an undeniable fact. Bocchi the Rock is one of the most creatively animated pieces out there in any medium, let alone anime. It does so much with its visuals. It does so much with its character movement. It does so much with its rotoscoping, with the instrument playing, with the camera angles, with everything. The fact that it's not on here is borderline disrespectful, and I'm starting to get a little angry. Akebi's sailor uniform isn't as flashy as a Demon Slayer, but it's very fluid. Really hammers home the simpler movements. Well done slice of life anime will always be preferred than flashy shonen to me, especially since Akebi has plenty of beautiful looking scenes as well. Crunchyroll also just missed a lot of really good animated series this year, but that's more or less because they only have 6 nominees. I would have loved for a show like Shine Post to really get its due to be on the best animation list, but that wasn't happening, because there's only 6 slots and you only have so much room to put every anime on here. It's almost like somebody said they should have added more slots. Who would have thought? Attack on Titan could probably win this award, but they had a whole CGI discourse, so that probably brings it down in the votings. Ugh. CGI discourse, just ugh. So because of that, Demon Slayer probably wins this award. Well, this one's easy. It's the catchiest OP in years, what can I say? It's not even just the OP version, the actual song is a banger. It has everything in it. It has a rap verse, it has a guitar section, it has this retro disco beat, like, it has everything. My second choice was Daten by CreepyNuts, which isn't on here because Crunchyroll just seems to hate me. But that's also a really good, catchy OP that has some really good animation attached to it. I'm having a little bit of trouble with what's actually going to win this award because the casual side of me is saying that Rumbling is going to win just because Attack on Titan fans seem to flood everything involved in it. But there's also a side of me that says Spy X Family Mixed Nuts is going to win this one. Screw it. Spy X Family is going to win this award. You heard it here first. So they have CreepyNuts' ending for an award, but not CreepyNuts OP. Even though the OP is better. Right. The best one to me is either the Creepy Nuts one or Comedy. That one's tough. Because I do like the Creepy Nuts OP better, but the ending is also pretty good. With that being said, I did listen to Comedy more this year. So because of that, I'm gonna give it to Comedy. I think Comedy is my vote, and I also think it's gonna win this award, so... my favorite score didn't make it. Sorry, Call of the Night. How you can listen to this and not say it's OST of the year, I have no idea. Spy X Family's jazzy songs just fit the overall vibe of the series really well. It also gave us TBD, which is a banger, but there's also Made in Abyss music. And Made in Abyss's music is beautiful. Kevin Penkin knows what the hell he's doing, man. He will make the depressing scenes even more depressing with his depressing ass soundtrack.
I wanna know where the people are. I take my dream.
Yeah, you keep amplifying the pain, you hairy-chested hunk of musical genius. Attack on Titan is an easy choice for best score every year because it is made by the motherfucker himself, motherfucking Sawano! And also Kota Yamamoto, who does most of the songs in Season 4, but you know, Sawano is more fun to say. But I just think Main Abyss's emotional tracks just fit so well for the series. I legit can't tell you the amount of emotional trauma I suddenly feel in my body when I hear Hanezive Kawadina. I like to think a highlight of this channel is me attempting to sing. What wins? Probably Main Abyss, but I wouldn't be surprised if Attack on Titan or Spy X Family takes this one too. What is this? What is this award? I just assumed it was like original songs from the anime, like TBD or Eiko song, but it's not. They're just voting for OPs again. Since it wasn't on there for best OP and it probably should have been, I'm gonna go with Shall We Dance, the Shadows House OP for this one, since I feel like it deserved to be in the best OP section, and since it wasn't, I'm gonna vote for it here. It does have progression to it, and it is an entertaining song to listen to. Ryuna is just a godly singer who fits the series really well. It has a damn choir in it! You can't beat anime OPs that have a fucking choir in it. Probable winner? Who cares? I don't know what this award is for. Let's move on. Man, Crunchyroll really wants to put over this cyberpunk show because it's been nominated for almost every award. Character design in particular is really fun for me to talk about because it's so subjective between viewers. Some people like more realistic designs, some don't. Some people like colors, some don't. Some people like more complex designs, some people like simpler designs. It all really depends on how you like your art. And there's so many different variations of the anime art style out there that a show can do to really make its show more unique looking. And there are a couple of anime that do that this year. One of those being my pick, Ranking of Kings. It is a different art style that does take a bit to get used to, but it's unique, it's stellar, it's simple looking but also detailed. It has both a modern and older cartoon type feel to it. It's just a really cute show as well. There's a lot of very cute scenes in it. Bocchi is a really cute character to just look at in general. He's a really cutie. It does feel weird voting for it because it was on this same award last year and I didn't vote for it then. But my mindset has always been when a show ends, that's when it should count, since you know more about the story when it ends. You're not just kind of assuming how the story will go and how it will look later on, which I feel is what Crunchyroll did with Ranking of Kings last year, which is why I didn't really vote for it. But Crunchyroll's rules for this anime awards are so fucked at this point that I really don't care anymore. This award ceremony is making less and less sense the more the years go on. I'm voting for Ranking of Kings for this one. Cyberpunk probably wins this one. It's popular. A lot of people like the design of Rebecca specifically. To be honest, I like the design of Rebecca too, even though I've never even seen the series. You know, voting for these anime awards would be a lot more entertaining if they allowed fall anime to be in it. Demon Slayer was weaker in terms of story and pacing for me than the previous season. I didn't have as much as an emotional impact during the Entertainment District arc than I did for the entirety of Season 1. And I also felt the comedy was a little bit out of place. Spy X Family did have good directing in it, but I'm gonna give it to Lycoris Recoil. The story worked out much better than I ever could have imagined. It develops its plot slowly and gradually allowing it to be more emotional and tension-filled as it goes on. The battle could have gone either way at the end due to Shisato's condition. Attack on Titan probably wins, but I honestly wouldn't be shocked if Ranking of Kings manages to steal this one. I feel like Crunchyroll got rid of the best protagonist and antagonist because of the whole Eren Yeager debacle last year. To be honest, I fell for it as well, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it was a mistake on my part to say that Eren Yeager was an antagonist last year. He definitely isn't. He's still the protagonist. I guess I just really didn't understand the meaning of it when I made that video. To me, I got caught up on like all the evil things he was doing without really noticing that there's two different things between a villain and an antagonist. At the time, I didn't really understand what an anti-hero was or what an anti-villain was or anything like that. I acknowledge that I was wrong last year on Eren Yeager. Crunchyroll just said fuck all of that though. They just got rid of the award completely. Though they still got it wrong to me. I don't think Marlon is the main protagonist of Dress Up Darling. I would give it to Gojo. While they are together and it is about their journey as the cosplayer and the guy who makes the clothes, I think it's more Gojo's story, especially since we see his backstory and we know his motivation and his feelings and his mindset on things. We don't really get the same treatment with Marlon, and it isn't as important as Gojo. So I would rather say Gojo is the main protagonist of Dress Up Darling than Marlon, even though Marlon is the cover girl. I've already talked about this a little bit in my Anime of the Year section, but Lloyd with his mysteries make him a very intriguing character, and it does show enough to make you understand why he thinks the way he does about war and about what his motivation is and why he is a spy. But if there was one thing Attack on Titan will forever win me over on, it's the character of Eren Yeager. Look, there's a ton of theories about Eren Yeager's character out there. Probably a lot more people smarter than me who are more committed to Attack on Titan than I am probably have better breakdowns of his character. But to me, he's pulling a Lelouch. If you don't fully understand because you haven't seen Code Geass, I'm basically saying he's pulling a gimmick where both of the nations that are fighting are going to join together in order to fight him. And because of that, he's able to end all the conflict in the world because he is now the center of everyone's attention instead of the differences that they have. I feel like that's what Eren Yeager is doing. This is a character. He's just playing the villain, playing the main bad guy. Whether or not it works like Lelouch's did is up for debate. He wouldn't do that. It doesn't make sense for Eren's character to suddenly hate Mikasa and beat up Almond. It doesn't make sense for his character to be genuine when doing that. This is all a character to make him seem as evil as possible, and so that when he dies, the two nations suddenly join together. I feel like while Eren's feelings are probably real, his hatred for the world is real, he just wouldn't do that to his friends, to the fellow Eldians. I don't think he would do that. So because of that level of depth to his character, and because I was able to talk for that long about his character and come up with the whole theory, and because there's so many other theories out there about Eren's character and what his mind is like, I'm gonna give it to Eren Yeager. There hasn't been an MC in a while that's really caused this much discussion in the community. For better or for worse. You know what? I like this one, Crunchy. I like this award. But you probably don't need Anya and Yor for this award. Listen, I like Yor as much as the next guy likes Yor, but if we're talking best side characters from Spy X Family, then it's easily the homeboy Bill Watkins.
CONNY detected.
Rebecca is cute, and her character is pretty funny. I should have known this would turn into a lust thing with a lot of you. She has long legs, too. Oh my goodness. Y'all are disgusting pigs. Not me though. I'm a Christian channel. If you know me, and none of you know me, but if you knew me, you would know that Hayasaka wins. This isn't a meme either, okay? I'm not one of those Redditors who only likes Hayasaka because everyone else likes Hayasaka because she's a meme. No, this isn't a meme. She's generally my favorite character in the series. Her kudere personality mixed with Kaguya's childlike nature over love are some of the best scenes in the series to me. Her dere extroverted side is also really funny. Her various different characters inside of her character just really make her an entertaining character to me. Said character way too many times during that section. Anya probably wins this award, but Hayasaka wins my heart. Oh hell yeah, Crunchy! Must protect character? Yeah, I like this one too. These are the characters that me and my unhygienic knights must defend with our honor and our lives. If we see anything NTR related involving these characters, then we become sick, we shrivel up and die. They could have had a couple other cuties in this nomination list. How do you have a must protect award and not have Ajisai on it? I would die for Ajisai. Look at her. I would die for Ajisai. I would suck dick for Ajisai. I'm Tyrone-sized long dick style. I'm sucking it if it was for Ajisai. Out of all of these non-Ajisais, I guess Anya is gonna win it for me. She is cute and funny, realistically childlike, so that makes you want to protect her even more. Anya probably wins as well. I want to vote for something different because realistically, Demon Slayer could win this award every single year and it would be absolutely justified. So I want to explain why Lycoris Recoil is my choice, instead of the obvious reasoning of I want to be different. Lycoris Recoil is smart in its action. The characters know each other so well, particularly Shisato and Majima. Majima knows Shisato uses rubber bullets that don't kill, so forcing her gun out of her hands and putting your gun with real bullets in her hands will psychologically mess her up and cause her to hesitate. Especially since Majima has a hostage who he knows is very close to Shisato. Shisato shooting him specifically would cause her even more distress. It's also in the dark. Since Majima is blind and uses his heightened sense of hearing to fight, being in the dark wouldn't affect him. Meanwhile, Shisato, who uses her vision to dodge bullets, would get affected if she were blinded. However, Shisato uses the heightened hearing to her advantage, putting a gun to his ear and blasting it, which is deafening for Majima. Both of these characters have strengths that their opponents used as weaknesses in order to help them. And all of this was built in previous moments where we've seen the characters learn about each other. It's a series with a lot more depth than I feel it gets credit for. So while yes, Demon Slayer from an animation perspective probably should win this award, I'm gonna go with Lycoris Recoil simply to give appreciation to just the amount of time and dedication it took to building up all its elements and allowing the characters to actually be smart in their fight scenes. Usually I like talking about comedy anime because I get to talk about different anime for a change, but not this year. This is about the same anime I've been talking about. I will say Uncle-Sekai is good, and I did enjoy it, but I'm not as high on it as I feel others are. And it's also getting delayed constantly, so it's not actually finished at the moment, so honestly, my favorite comedy of the year, which isn't even on here, Demon Girl Next Door, that one didn't make the list, so I guess I'm gonna go with Kaguya-sama for this one. I know it's a bit of a basic choice, but it's the best comedy of the year for me, so that's what I'm going with. I don't have a lot to say for this one. Kaguya-sama probably wins as well. You know, what confuses me about the Best Drama nominations is that 86 is here. 86 would have finished in 2021 if it didn't get constantly delayed. I don't count that, you know? Like, yeah, it's an unfortunate situation that it constantly got delayed, but just because it finished in 2022, that doesn't just... It would have finished in 2021 if it didn't have all those delays, but whatever. Dance Dance is underrated. I am glad to see it on here. It developed an interesting, relatable main protagonist, and it just developed all its elements really well. It's a pretty underrated series in my opinion. It didn't get much attention when it first aired. AOTY built up its drama amazingly, to be fair, but once again, it's not finished, and I need to see the conclusion before I give it something like Best Drama. Meanwhile, Main Abyss actually finished its arc in less episodes. It didn't need 20 different parts to finish its arc. It finished it in 11 episodes, and it built up the drama really well. Because of that, and because of the emotional connection that this series continues to build up constantly, I'm gonna give it to Maiden Abyss. Oh, Kiki-ai, is that enough bangs for you? No, it's not, okay? Talking about the anime awards tires me out. I will say that Mushoku Tensei is about as much of a 2022 anime as Muroku-chan or Mugen Train, yet Mugen Train and Muroku-chan were on last year's Crunchyroll Anime Awards list, not this year's. But Mushoku Tensei was on last year's Crunchyroll Anime of the Year list. It was only for Core 1, though. Yet Core 2 also aired in 2021, and it also finished in 2021. Literally no episodes besides maybe the OVA aired in 2022. Yet for some odd reason, Core 2, an anime that never ever aired in 2022, is on a end of year award list for 2022 anime. Are you understanding why this doesn't make any sense? This is the goddamn anime awards. This should not be this complex. If recency bias is this big of a deal, then just have the votings in March or something. Well, Mushoku Tensei is my favorite fantasy heel, but voting for it would absolutely ruin the award, so I'm not gonna vote for it. You know, Crunchyroll should add a Best Isekai award. I'm surprised that isn't a thing yet. There's enough Isekai to do it, and you can avoid a show like Mushoku Tensei or Overlord being lumped with a bunch of fantasy anime, because they are two separate things, isekai and fantasy. They're not the same thing. This is getting a little boring, but it wasn't there for Anime of the Year, so I'm gonna keep giving it as much votes as I possibly can. Main Abyss wins this award. I'll start off my nomination list with Komi, since a lot of people don't think of it as a romance. It has some scenes in it that seem romantic, but they always seemed like closer friends at this point. I mean, I've only seen season 1, so maybe it's changed, but from what I saw, they aren't super romantic yet, so I wouldn't really consider it a romance, especially since I think there are more fitting anime for this tier that you could have added in over Komi. I just thought I'd bring that up. I probably shouldn't do that because its job is to cover up the phone and it keeps falling over. I get Kaguya-sama here. It is probably the best romance here, especially after the confession scene in season 3. However, I want to talk about another show that I feel developed its romance pretty well, and that is Dress Up Darling. Look, I had a blast watching this couple. Both saw each other as contrast while they were actually really similar in terms of personality and views on the world. I like both of their shyer sides, especially Marin. The best part being is that she doesn't really question if she loves him or not. She just kind of goes straight to crushing on him, which is really funny to me and also kind of cute. So while Kaguya-sama is the winner here, as it probably should be, I'm gonna vote for Dress Up Darling to be different. There's a weird stigma against Dress Up Darling. Like, I've heard some people say that it's only good because of Marin and it's only worth watching because of Marin. Just completely ignores the great character building in Gojo, and like, Gojo is a pretty relatable character, and he is someone that actually grows and feels more than just a cookie-cutter protagonist meant to be the love interest to the girl. And characters like Juju and Shinju have such relatable problems to cosplayers, I'm assuming, because they do seem like real issues that cosplayers would face in their everyday lives. And it also just ignores the great build-up to the relationship and the amazing chemistry between the couple. That's my personal opinion, though. You all can have your own personal opinions. Good shit, including Fapita Crunchy. Sheer heartbreak. I voted for Aaron last year, so it would be kinda boring to do it again, so I'm not gonna vote for Aaron this time. I talked about this in my review, so if you want to hear a more in-depth opinion on Anya's voice actress, you can go there, but to briefly cover what I talked about, Anya's voice actress, Atsumi. It's an incredible vocal range on her that she can somehow sound like a robot, she can sound like an emotional, aggressive teenager, she can sound like a 6-year-old, she can sound like pretty much anything, and I find that extremely impressive, so because of that, I'm gonna vote for Anya's voice actress. Plus, she just really does a good job replicating a child. If you want to see my full breakdowns on most of the anime that are in this video, plus more, you can check out my end of year video. I talk about a ton of anime on it. It's a little long, and my editor decided it wanted to break on me, so it's a little laggy at some points. We got a whole bunch of reviews coming down the pipe. It's gonna be a little crazy, So, I thank you guys for checking it out. Thank you all for the Bocchi review, by the way. That did pretty well. Y'all can move on with your lives. I love y'all. Peace.